This is going to be one of those videos where it really digs me. It really pisses me off in a lot of ways. And I really try to be reasonable. I really try to care about other people's opinions. I really try to, not get into it too much with people over this quarterback and Jalen Hurts. Okay, there's a lot of things that really have to be said about this, and I don't get it. Are we hurting people's egos? Are we, are people afraid to be wrong? I mean, I don't know what it is with these guys that criticize Jalen Hurts, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. I probably will never get it. I mean, I don't even know. I'm trying to make sense of it myself. You know what I mean? So I want to get into this whole thing. There might be a rant here. It's going to be kind of nuts. I wanted to get in some Nolan Smith news. We have some Quez Watkins news. Well, just stuff in general, off-season stuff, since the Eagles are, obviously, the players are doing their own things right now until training camp. So I want to go through all that. So sit tight. Let's get straight into this whole ordeal.
Anywhere to wearing a mask is never friendly.
Well, I hope everybody's enjoying or is about to enjoy their weekend this weekend. And, Eagles training camp's right around the corner, right? And the more that this offseason is going every single day, the more that time keeps passing by, is really the more that I hear the more criticism of Jalen Hurts every single day. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous at this point. The guy just will never get respect, okay? Even humbling themselves to at least humble themselves to a point where, just say he's good or say that you know what I mean? I think there's people out there that are afraid to say that he's a good quarterback, at least that in some aspect. So I go on and see that this guy named Marcus Hayes that works for the Inquirer, apparently, probably a nobody, probably nobody that nobody cares about, and says that he's probably the most insecure athlete in Philadelphia. Holy crap. Who uses the insecurity to his advantage? I think he knows what his physical limitations are and always has been. And that's one reason he works so hard to optimize every bit of ability he has. What's so wrong about this is that literally they're taking his work ethic and calling it insecurities. That's just and so what? I mean, so what if he's taking advantage of having... it's such a mind fuck of a statement. A security example of insecurities would be, every time I wake up out of bed, I go to my mirror and I look at my body and I'm like, holy crap, what am I looking at? And I want to look better. That's having insecurities about my physical appearance or my physical features or, stuff like that. Or maybe I don't do, maybe I don't, I work my job really hard, but, maybe I don't, work to 100% full extent at my job, at my 9-to-5 job. You know what I mean? Those are insecurities, and I totally get that. So who says that Jalen doesn't have insecurities? Well, not insecurities in a negative way. He knows he has things he needs to work on and to get better every year, but don't say that insecurities are weaknesses. They're goals. They're things that you look up to change over time and, to better yourself over time as a football player. Okay. This idiot, okay, it just makes no sense. All right. I just look, there are some people after Jalen Hurts, after at least last year, are really afraid to admit that they were wrong about him. Now, I don't know if him winning a Super Bowl, because I'm telling you right now, even if he won the Super Bowl last year, it probably wouldn't have changed. It probably would have been, he has the best, the best group of guys around him, or the defense did well, which it didn't, but you know what I mean? They would have figured out every other excuse to put in the book of why Jalen Hurts is, great, because it's not because of him, it's because everybody makes him better. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, really coming out of college and going to the NFL he's just a running quarterback. That's all he is. He's not a pure pocket passer. I mean, trust me, I was one of those guys that not only did I didn't say I didn't like Jalen Hurts, I never said I didn't like him, I just didn't we were already paying a quarterback at the time, okay? We were already paying a quarterback, and, you know, like, I just didn't get the move as a second rounder. I just didn't get the move. Obviously, if Carson Wentz was on the outs, then I would understand that, but at that moment, he wasn't. So drafting a quarterback in the second round just made no sense to me. I didn't not like the player. I just didn't like the situation of drafting a second-round player that wasn't going to start for us that year. Your first and second-round pick should be on the field. Okay, that was the main issue I had with it. But obviously, we saw the true colors of Carson Wentz, and guys like Nick Wright and guys like, you know, Dan Orlovsky, you know, some of these other guys that were not really Jalen Hurts. You know, they were Jalen Hurts haters. They loved Carson Wentz. They hated Jalen Hurts. That's just the way it was. And at least with some of these guys, they have came around, but a lot of these writers, just I don't know. I don't get it. Like, this is like such an unfair statement. Like, that guy is a clown. Okay, you can't. He's gonna take advantage. He's gonna. I mean, who uses the insecurity? He uses the insecurities to his advantage. Well. I mean, that's just motivation. Like, it's just motivation. Like, I hate when people write shit like this. It's just so annoying. We know what type of quarterback. We know the quarterback that Jalen Hurts is. Look, going into last season in 22, I said at least if he plays like 20% better, you know, he should definitely, you know, if he gets us, I was just saying if he just gets us into the playoffs or wins, I think he has to win a playoff game to really get that contract. And he did well above that. He played 95% better than I thought he was going to play. Okay, so, you know, he's always going to get hate like this. And you know what? If you're going to take a man's mentality and motivation and call it insecurities, and so what if even if he has insecurities, so what? It's not that it's not going to put him down. It's not going to, you know, he's not going to lose play over it. He's not going to play worse because of something that he needs to work on. See, the word you should be using is, you know, obviously if it's not insecurities, is his, you know, maybe his weaknesses or something. Like, insecurity just sounds like he doubts himself, or it just makes it sound like there's more issues with Jalen Hurts than we realize, or I don't know, just the way he worded this crap was so stupid. I mean, they should just be, I don't care. I don't care about these media outlets, but when I hear stuff like this, and it's like every single day there's always something bad said about this guy. Okay, I don't know, between head coach to GM to positional coaches to this quarterback, it's been flawless. The Eagles are in the best situation possible in their franchise. I mean, to an open window for years. And if Howie Roseman keeps making moves like this, the window is going to stay open for championships every single year. And I feel like now I've never wanted Jalen Hurts to win more than ever as of right now. I swear to God, like, I really want this to happen. I really want to get a second ring. I want this just to come true. You know, like, I'm dying for this. I need this. Like, and I feel like that's the only way the guy's going to get respect. I mean, simple as that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of clowns out there that talk a lot of crap. Obviously, I mean, at least humble yourself a little bit. You know what I mean? At least humble yourself. It's like me sitting here right now, like, oh, Jalen Hurts stinks. He didn't win a Super Bowl. He didn't do enough for us at the end of the year. You know, blah blah blah. You know, it's like me saying all that, you know, and still not believing in him. Okay, regular season's regular season. I get it. Playoffs are playoffs. I get it. A Super Bowl is Super Bowl. That's the most important game of the year. If you make it there, you got to win it. You know what I mean? But at least we have a huge sample size now of what Jalen Hurts could do, and obviously a big year that he had last year. And I expect better things this year. Obviously, there's more pressure on him. He knows that. He has pressure from the fans. He has pressure from the city, and it does not faze him. Because he's just, trust me, you know how many players we've seen that can't handle this city, can't handle having a bad game or having a drop, or forget it. You know what I mean? It's just like when we had Carson Wentz, we didn't build around him probably the way we build around Jalen Hurts. We weren't this aggressive. We weren't this aggressive ever. Okay, the build around Jalen Hurts is obviously better than Carson Wentz. We know this. When Carson Wentz screwed up every single year besides 2017, everybody would make the excuse that, oh, he doesn't have weapons. He doesn't have a number one receiver. He doesn't, you know what I mean? And then Jalen Hurts becomes a quarterback here, and Howie Roseman does all these moves. Now it's these players make Jalen Hurts look good now. It's just so fucking stupid. I just can't stand it. I just want to shut everybody up and let this guy just flourish and he doesn't care what these guys have to say. He doesn't listen to the outside noise. What the hell do these guys know about football? And look, and I like some of these guys' takes, and I'm not putting anything against, Jody Mack. I'm not putting anything against John McMullen or any of those guys. Like, their opinions are their opinions. But Marcus Hayes' statement was just so stupid and so invalid, and he worded it the right way. Like, so stupid. Like, it's like saying he's working on all of his weaknesses in a bad way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like a mind fuck of a statement that he just said. It's just so it just blows my damn mind. Like, let me tell you something. If I was sitting there and I heard that, I'd be like, what? Like, what the fuck? What does that even mean? Well, like if it's like it's okay, like, just say like, hey, Jalen Hurts is going to work on he takes advantage of his weaknesses and turns them into positives. Like, but he won't say it like that. It's insecurities. Like, he's some, like, he's like, he sits there and complains about everything, and that he needs to get better, and he complains. You know what I mean? Like, it's just he, like a statement like that is just so dumb. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just looking at it differently. I have no idea. But you literally are mistaking a man's work ethic for insecurities. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're literally saying his work ethic is because of is insecurities. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's taking advantage of every opportunity to get better. Like no shit. Like who wouldn't get better? Every day, us as people, as individuals, since I'll be a little, all of us as people try to get better every day. We get better in life. We get better in making more money. We get better at our jobs. We get better at just everyday stuff. We always try to get better. Do people have insecurities? Sure. Like, maybe you don't agree with something that's maybe you have insecurities about yourself. Maybe you're trying to fix it. There's nothing wrong with that, but he makes it seem like it's a dirty thing, like it's bad, like he just made him. It's just that statement. It's just a dirty statement. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know. I can't even. So that's really all I have to say about it. I don't want to go over. I'm already 13 minutes in this right now. And, I hope we win the whole thing this year. I hope so, man. The NFC is a weak conference right now. Eagles have a tough schedule, but I do not give a crap. I really hope that this team just gets to the Super Bowl again and at least gives us a damn fighting chance this time, which I will not get into that. But there was news on that as well from some of the players on the Eagles as well. So I just want to win. I want to win so bad, and I can't wait till this guy proves everybody wrong year after year after year after year after year. I cannot wait for it. So that's all I got to say about that dude and what he said, and just ridiculous. Now, in some positive news for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I don't even know how Nolan Smith, I just don't know how Nolan Smith dropped to us. I really don't, because I feel like teams made a huge mistake. Not only is Nolan Smith, he's taking advantage of every opportunity that he has this offseason. Now, this was video of him working out with a few guys. Now, he was part of, if you guys didn't know, he was part of Von Miller's, football, defensive line camp. He was a part of that this offseason. offseason. And, between training camp now until the regular, between OTAs to training camp, these players, this is up to them to get in shape. And when you see these offseason workouts from some of these guys and what they're doing, and I understand, well, he's just working out. Every player works out. Yes, understandably they do. But Nolan Smith hasn't stopped since OTAs. He hasn't stopped at all, and he is ready to go. I can't wait, and I feel like there's just good things going to happen. I don't like to overhype first-round picks. I don't like to go crazy their first years, but there's something that I can just feel with Nolan Smith. I feel like he's going to not only be a great guy in coverage for us if they put him in that position, but off the edge, I feel like he's got the best teachers, he's got the best mentors, and he's got the best players around him to use all the tools he has in his toolbox, whether he learns more moves off the line. I'm excited to see a defined Nolan Smith and what they turn him into. And he promised the Eagles that he was going to be the best player they ever had, that they weren't going to make the mistake of drafting him. And I don't know, I get really excited about it. I'm not trying to fly off the panhandle with it, but I feel really good. I feel very comfortable. I have a nice gut feeling about Nolan Smith. His work ethic is just insane right now. It's been nonstop ever since the end of OTAs. He has been nonstop training, nonstop just getting better every single day. I can't wait to see him in full pads. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm pretty pumped. So, that's all I really have to say about the Nolan Smith. There was some, video that came out. And, really happy about it. Now, lastly, Quez Watkins. Shout out to Joe Castro of Philly the podcast. Subscribe to his channel. His link will be in the description below. So I asked him this was actually sent to him by Steph Brown, who is Quez Watkins' trainer. And he knows his trainer pretty well. He sends him some stuff about Quez and some Quez videos. So he received actually this Quez video that was up. So shout out to him for that. Now, there's nothing else that I want more than to root for Quez Watkins. Trust me, I am rooting for this guy 100%, regardless of the trade rumors, regardless of bringing, Alamadi Zacchaeus. I don't care if I'm saying his name wrong. I say it wrong all the time. I don't care how many undrafted wide receivers they brought in. I feel like the Eagles have a lot of faith in Quez Watkins. Now, there was some worry from John McMullen. I remember, when Nick came to Quez Watkins, kind of protected him. Said that he's going to have a great year and he's working really hard. And from Steph Brown, his trainer, he's packed on some muscle. He's been really working on routes like crazy and his catching. And look, at the end of the day, guys, like, what did Quez really do that was huge last year? Yeah, I understand he dropped, he fumbled the ball in the Washington game. I understand that he obviously, had one of the biggest catches in the Super Bowl that went right through his hands. Like we're acting like he dropped 18 passes last year, but because this team is so good and he's a part of this really good offense, we have to put him at a higher tier of not screwing up anything. And, I get it. Like, I totally get it. Really, before we drafted Devontae Smith, we were used to bad wide receiver play for so long. And when that, guy had a first down and a few plays in 2 series, we'd be happy about it. Now, because this wide receiver core is so good, there's no room for mistakes in this wide receiver core, and Quez really has to get it together. He really has to get it together, and I think with him, I think he will be fine. I'm not really worried about it too much. I'm rooting for this guy. I really am. This is a contract year on top of it. Now, do I think the Eagles are going to resign Quez Watkins after this year? That's something to talk about, obviously, going to next offseason. But if I was just to say it now, probably not. You know what I mean? Like, you have to start working on that Devontae Smith contract real soon. Or, maybe, A.J. Brown, just depending on what's going on. But that's for another time. time, obviously. But with Quez Watkins, obviously took a lot of heat in the Super Bowl and took a lot of heat during the season. And he had a grade 2 shoulder sprain, which was a whole nother thing with him that we didn't find out to the end of the season, why he wasn't in the offense, why Zach Pascal had more opportunity, why when Dallas Goedert went down, more, Grant Calcaterra and Jack Stahl had more opportunity. Like, more guys had opportunity in this offense, and it looked like Quez was more phased out a little bit. Early in the season, he was stretching the defense out. He was doing a good job, and then they kind of strayed away from him a little bit. I think when he started to, kind of not play well, they kind of, not that they gave up on him, but they just gave other guys more opportunity. And when the Eagles signed, Alamani Zaccheaus, people, they wrote Quez off. A lot of fans wrote Quez off already, like all over Twitter. It was like, Alamani Zaccheaus was coming to the Eagles, had a good season with the Falcons last year, over 500 yards, 2 touchdowns, his best season as a pure slot guy. Some Eagles fans think that Quez is just not good in the slot. I think he is. I think he could play really well. He just got to define himself a little bit more. He's got to track the football a little bit better. He's got to, as a number 3, as a wide receiver 3, as a number 3 wide receiver, okay, you're not the focal point in this offense. Okay, as a wide receiver 3, you're the last line of defense in the offense, really, because there were times where Jalen Hurts threw some balls on obviously when Hurts would extend the play with his legs, and there were times where Quez wasn't even paying attention. He's wide open. You know what I mean? So Quez has to be more alert on the field. I know, the offense goes through A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. I think we all know this. But with Quez Watkins, I think what's going to push him a little bit more is it's a contract year. It's going to push him a little bit more that, he's part of something really good right now, and he might not get an opportunity to be on a really good team next time he signs with a team. He might not. You know what I mean? You never know here. I'm not saying he's going to get signed to big money to be a number 1 receiver anywhere, because he's not going to. Okay? We've had Quez as our number 1 before. We've had it before. There were times I felt like even when Devontae Smith was here in 21, I felt like they used that they favored Quez over Devontae Smith in some way. I don't know. Devontae Smith really wasn't favored. He really wasn't used as a number 1, which really ticked me off. But that time's over with now. But with Quez Watkins, I feel like, good things are going to happen. I hope so. I mean, my gut feeling says he's going to have a good year. I have faith in him. I think, when Zaccheaus was signed, he went on Twitter and was like, I'm going to take your name out your mouth. I'm going to make y'all eat your words. That's pretty much what he said, to all the fans, that were doubting him. So I felt like, and I didn't mind him going on Twitter and saying that, because it just showed he cared. It shows that he cares. He cares about playing well for this team. It shows that he cares about how he plays in front of the fans. It just shows that he cared. Now, if he didn't say anything, I wouldn't have, it's not a big deal, but at least we know, he actually, cares, which is good. And you know what? I don't hate Quez Watkins. I don't. I didn't want to trade him. You know what I mean? Obviously there's rumors and stuff like that. You always hear rumors and things, but I never want to get rid of him. I mean, is there a possibility that he could get traded out of nowhere? Sure, but do we need to? No. We're talking about D-Hop. We're talking about, I don't know. You hear all these things. You never know what could happen. You know what I mean? The Eagles can get rid of a Quez Watkins, a good player. All the fans are calling him Quez Dropkins now. It's getting really bad. I feel like it's getting really bad. So I don't want to make a big deal about it, but he's been training his tail off. From what I heard from people that know his trainer, and Steph Brown, guy's been working and Steph Brown, he trains a lot of athletes around the league. He trains a lot of people. So him and Quez, have their times where they, works on his route running, works on almost everything. And I think he'll be better for it, man. I'm excited for Quez Watkins as a number 3 this year, if that's the case. And look, I might even say, I feel like they'll use Quez, and I feel like they're going to use Zaccheaus as well. I think they're going to use both of these guys, because Zaccheaus is a little bit of a smaller receiver, a little bit smaller than Quez. I think he weighs about the same as Quez, a little bit smaller, but he's got, some deep threat ability, pure slot deep threat ability, which is great, and he gets great separation. So they can use both of these guys for different reasons. You know what I mean? So no issue with this, and we'll see what happens down the road. But this is a good sign right here. I like seeing this. So obviously we talked about the Jalen Hurts stuff. How'd you feel about that comment, and what does it mean to you? We talked about Nolan Smith and how hard he hasn't taken a day off this whole offseason. I absolutely love it. And people are going to say, "Oh, Joe, don't get too high." Jalen Hurts was working with the receivers like crazy last year, and people were like, "Oh, let's not get our hopes," but you never know. You know what I mean? You're coming from a national championship program at Georgia, so these guys have different mindsets going into off seasons. And I'm glad Nolan Smith is working his tail off. And then obviously the Quez Watkins. How do you feel about? You think Quez is going to do well this year? Do you think it's going to be a waste of time? Do you think he gets traded? Do you think he's just going to go through the motions and get whatever opportunities he gets and not really run away with it too much? So you guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. And if you guys last this long, 24 and a half minutes of this video, I do appreciate so much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well for more Eagles news every single day. And I will see you guys on the next one. Remember, SHAKESQUAD up, FileSci. Peace out, guys. Peace.